Again, I have my co-host Armando since Alfredo's not around. Um, how are you doing today, Armando?
Good man, how you doing today? Can you hear me? I feel like your connection's a little choppy there.
No, man, this is just a connection we got over here in Cancun. It's I'm in the Airbnb. I had to stop all the activities. And as the I did listen to the podcast earlier. I think it was yesterday, the one with Steven and our dear friend Franklin. He did see me over there in the speedo by the pool, drinking my mojitos. It was me, guys. So I'm just letting you guys know that that's the way I'm gonna rock my stuff over there in Cancun. So whenever it is you guys come, I got an extra speedo for you guys. Um,
All
but
right,
yeah,
just make sure to cover up before draft day.
no, definitely, definitely. It's if not, I might end up being the clown in the speedo. So,
Oh boy, hide the
but yeah,
children.
hide the children, hide your wives. but yeah, man, let's get into it, man. I know that you wanted to get on this podcast and discuss a few things. But I want to ask you a few questions beforehand. How do you feel about your matchup with Kokis? Because right now Kokis is pushed up against the wall and he has to win to be in the playoffs. Tell me about that.
Yeah, man, he's dangerous. He's like like a rat in a cage right now. Obviously, I feel a lot better today because I got back Nico Collins. So that was good news for this weekend going forward. Um, but a little bit late because I did have to play Deontay because I feel like I didn't have any other options, and he ended up getting me a point. So I haven't really looked too much at his matchups, but I feel like it's pretty close, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel too comfortable right now, even though Lamar had a great day. But that 1 point blemish, maybe Marvin Harrison, does the same, like he's done a couple times. So that's my saving grace there. But he's got really good players. He's got Debo. He's got Marvin Harrison. I think maybe Joe Mixon comes down to earth a little bit because he's playing Detroit, which is a pretty good team overall. So they might have to pass more. Let's see if they deploy Mixon as a pass catcher, but they don't have Diggs now, so we'll see how it looks now with Nico back and that whole offense. But I think it's a pretty close matchup.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you that you guys, both of your teams are pretty much almost like I wouldn't say they're blow for blow like really similar, but he does have a little bit more upside, especially now that you had already played Deontay Johnson. I'm sure that Nico Collins would have been in that spot, and this would have made it a little bit more of an even matchup. But I gotta give it to you. That 32 points from Lamar Jackson, that would have that basically covered you in whatever Deontay Johnson fell on. But
Yeah, that definitely did help. I mean, he did get stopped at the one though. That was 2 points there that I lost. 'Cause I think he threw a touchdown after. And the other point is Brees Hall. I mean, I need Brees Hall to step up and be the number one draft pick that I chose him to be. If not, I'm gonna have to sell him. I mean, goodbye. You're not going to be a keeper at that price if you're not putting up keeper points. That's a
oh,
first round draft pick. That's pretty expensive. And now we're expanding to 12 people. That's you know.
well, I doubt if he continues working like this, he's going to be a first round pick next year. So you might just be doing a service to yourself and not keeping him. But now we're talking about keepers. I don't think I've gotten your input on the 12-man league next year. Talk to me about that.
Um yeah, it's a little odd because we're not resetting to just start with the 12 man. And just start from the beginning, again, I guess, whatever, like a mulligan for this year as far as the keepers aspect. And we can just start with, the 12 people. I'm not really sure how they're going to do it as far as like setting it up, how it looks, but it's definitely a monkey wrench in it. I know Franklin gave Kokis a lot of crap for adding an IR spot mid-season or whatever it was, and we're getting two new players, and that kind of messes up what we've been doing I feel like as managers this whole time and not doing. I'm pretty sure there's some trades people didn't do because they're looking at players as keeper or some other piece that they think maybe they can get in next year's draft, and maybe they don't want to pay the price now. So definitely confusing. I'm not sure why we're not resetting it, but hey, when the day comes, we'll figure it out. I'm sure. But for right now, I'm concerned about this year.
Yeah, I tend to agree on the situation. Look, everybody wants to get in on the Guru League. From my understanding, I tell people about this league at work, and they tell me, bro, y'all have podcasts, y'all talk about it in a group chat. It's not dead. You talk about it all the time, and then they ask, is it dead like when it's not going on like in the off season? I'm like, no, bro, it's not. I wouldn't consider it dead. Do we get as much hits on it as we usually do during the season? No, we don't. But every so often, you'll get a guy. Let's say Franklin, for instance, that he'll obviously the commissioner of the league would come out and just say T minus 170 days until the season starts again. T minus 40 days until the season starts again. I'm so excited. Da 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 da. And then Steven comes out from the side. I hate Danny, and Danny comes back and says a whole bunch of things back. It's let's be honest. This is where it's at. This is
No, and I
where
think it's hilarious that they all keep receipts.
yeah. Oh boy, no.
Yeah,
it's
they all have a little box. I feel like of just stuff somewhere like dirt on everybody. It's crazy how they come out with these little snippets of audio just like this.
Yeah, bro. This is like my favorite one. It had to have been Danny at the golf course. Which right, you weren't here last year, but Danny at the golf course talking about the matchup with Alfredo, and then all of a sudden when he mentions Alfredo's name, he starts coughing and choking. Oh my god! And then Steven, back when they were on better terms, like,
Hmm.
Danny, do you need me to bring you a water? Are you okay? And every time you talk about Alfredo, it's like Alfredo's ear perked up and he threw a pigeon at him from far away. Oh man, but yeah, man, this league is where it's at, bro. And I'm sure that in the coming years, it's possible this league ends up being a 20-man league. So it's very possible. But now that we did mention a certain person, talk to me about Franklin.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to address the kind of like the debate we were having earlier. And I think his stance on Joe Burrow, we were talking about that he was making fun of Danny actually, because Danny, his take was that Joe Burrow isn't a good fantasy quarterback. And I think that comes just from the mentality of that. This is a 4 point passing league for a touchdown. So 4 points for a passing touchdown, and he doesn't have the rushing upside that the other quarterbacks have. So you do have to take some value away from him. And that's just what I was trying to point out to Franklin. And I think he took it personally because I was talking bad about one of his players. And I'm not crapping on his players or his team. I'm just, I try to see it from an objective lens. I own Burrow in another league, in a money league,
Mhm.
where we all paid $150 to get in. So I'm very invested in Joe Burrow and his wellness, the wellness of his wrist. I want him to keep doing the flexing and the stuff on the sidelines. But the point is that in this type of league, he's just not top tier. He might be number two now, but my whole point was that he's number two because he's played the Ravens twice, which are the worst pass defense in the league. They played the Raiders the week before. He threw 5 touchdowns. That's inflating those numbers. And then when I asked him about what happened the week 6 and 8, where let me just pull it up here real quick, just so we're accurate here for the audience. We don't want any unnecessary clapback.
Oh, definitely, because you know it's coming.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Excuses. Um, Okay, so week 6, he played the Giants. He got 19 points. Week 7, played the Browns. Got 14 points. Let's call it 15. It's 14.9.
Mm-hmm.
Then he played Philadelphia. He got 13 points. And in the middle, if you go back, so that's week 8, Philly, week 7, Cleveland, week 6, the Giants. Week 5, he played Baltimore, 34 points. And then the week before, he played Carolina, Pedro, Carolina. He didn't even put up 20 points.
Yeah, it's
So it's either, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's either basically 5 touchdowns or bust for Joe
and
Burrow to elevate your team in the same way that the Russian quarterbacks would. And I know he's done well without Higgins, but I mean, look at the competition you're going up against. And then so then he went from that to then wanting to talk about our matchup and talking about how he's going to beat me and all this stuff where it's like, "Hey man, I'm just asking you what the stats say. You're the one that put the picture up there." So, frankly, at the end of the day, it's not an attack on you. It's not an attack on your team. You're my Nika brother. I was just, stating what I thought was fact. I mean, it's on the picture, and I was just playing devil's advocate. Okay, don't take it too personal, man. Don't kick me out.
yeah, because he's been accused of wanting to kick people out for strange reasons. Eh, you didn't trade me a player, you're gonna get kicked out, man.
Oh,
That's the accusation out there, which I will
oh
say
boy.
it is false. Let's be real,
Okay, okay, that's
but
good.
but but still, yeah, he's very bro when it comes to
And he keeps
Franklin,
calling me a know-it-all.
bro. Bro, it's just look when you can and I'm gonna put it so you can understand it. There was in this league the people that were considered know-it-alls were Steven, because at the end of the day, Steven is a very good fantasy manager. Even though this year he sucks, he is the real Chure, as his name is. Um, but at the end of the day, man, it's not like you came into the league and everything that you've said has come to fruition. And like Nico Collins, there you go. That's a prime example. Danny was laughing in the corner. I wish bro. I think I have the. I think I
I
do.
saw, I don't know if it was Alfredo or Franklin that sent the his power rankings from week 1 or whatever,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
he was
Oh
talking
yeah.
about my team, and he's like, "Oh, what did he say? Some people go for their players, but Armando, whoa,
Yeah.
Nico Collins, and then nothing is worse as bad as Rasheed Rice in the fourth."
Oh my god, bro! Those everything came back to haunt him on that one because I remember they were making so much fun of you because of Nico Collins, man. And I had my reservations because I know Nico Collins is a good player. Because I remember last year because Alfredo picked him up, and
Mhm.
everybody was pretty much poo pooing that because they're like, "Oh, Nico Collins, he hasn't done anything, But then Nico Collins pretty much cemented himself last year, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, it was basically when he got with C.J. Stroud.
Hmm. So that take back then was bad, and now it's even worse because you picked him up. What was it in the second?
Yeah,
You picked him up in the second, and he's been working. He's been working for you as a first rounder. Obviously, he got hurt, but if he let's think about it. If he didn't get hurt, where would he be right now?
I was just gonna look that up. I think when he got hurt, he was like top 5.
Yeah, he was a top 5 wide receiver. Like when you had Chase not performing, you had other guys not doing what they were supposed to do. You always had Nico Collins performing. That's part of the reason why you were in the top 4 of the league. And Danny is where he is now. Closer is like I'm saying. It's like Steven says, you're closer to me than you are the shark. Well, it's true. Danny is in the bottom of the barrel. His playoff hopes are dead, and you are still fighting. You're still in the playoffs, but you would have to lose all your games to be out of the playoffs, which
Yeah,
is not going to happen.
it'd have to go real bad. Ah, you never know. He was actually second.
Mhm.
in PPR. He was a point and a half behind Jamar Chase and 11 points above Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, you can't get, bro. You can't get better than that, man. It's just, it's. I don't like you struck gold on Eagle Collins, and I expect you to keep him for next year because please do not let any of the new guys keep because I'm
No.
sure I am 100% sure if they got their first keeper, they're gonna be like Nico Collins is it. So, or if
Yeah,
not,
that's a good one.
if not, if Nico Collins might end up on me or Danny's team.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it's and on the topic of keepers, man, let's talk about that real quick. Everybody has like I think it was Steven that had his little chart discussing keepers for next year or what he believes everybody is going to keep.
Hmm.
Who do you believe are going to be your keepers for next year?
I mean, right now the only person I really feel comfortable with is probably Lamar.
Okay.
And let me see here. I mean, let's see how Nico finishes. I would probably take Nico right now and Lamar,
Hmm.
and maybe like some guy, another guy that would be in the 11th round, like a Lad McConkey, who's a second year wide receiver, getting better with Herbert, who's a great, quarterback. Um, I thought McBride would have a better year.
Hmm.
Um, it seems like maybe we could have just pieced it together from the waiver wire and stuff, the way the years turned out for
Hmm.
tight end. But yeah, right now, really, Nico and Lamar is what I feel the most comfortable with, and I would say Brees is third. The problem with Brees is that he just hasn't produced to that level, and he's expensive. He's
Yeah.
going to be a first round pick. Maybe I just take my chances and go, well, I'll just pick somebody else. Like whatever's out there, even if it's considered bad or whatever. But and that's the other thing. I don't know when we're going to find out who's keeping what and what the board is going to look like. That
two
might be like
weeks
a.
2 weeks before the draft. That's when
Oh,
you're
that's right.
supposed to have you pick your
Announce it.
keepers. Yeah. And it's like I'm saying, it's gonna be kind of weird now with the whole 12 man league next year. To be honest, I think we should actually just maybe just reset just to make it fair for everybody. But it's kind of because the thing is, it's kind of hard, bro. Like to how would that work? How would you add two more people? And now that everybody has their keepers, and on top of that, the Clown Bowl is like the biggest prize in the Clown Bowl is to have the first overall pick. It's and it kind of diminishes that if there are guys that are picking in front of you, anyways. I did ask Franklin, and he said that the first overall pick is the first overall pick. You'll have that before the guys in the that are coming out. So
Yeah, they got to go to the back of the line.
yeah, man. I
But
don't
I
know
mean,
how
I
it's
I
gonna work.
guess, I guess if you look at it from like 5, 6 years down the road, I guess one year, it being kind of weird isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. The only problem is that it's the first year. It's like you would expect that at the first year that you're gonna like things stay relatively nice and organized. To add what's gonna happen next year? They're gonna add two more players. It's
Yeah, I
possible,
mean, I guess.
but yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I welcome the competition.
And
Eh,
let me ask you something because I really don't know. Do you know why it was settled on 3 players to keep?
I don't know why it was settled on three. Because they were kind of they were talking about making it a dynasty league. So I think they had because everybody kind of had an input on it. Obviously Franklin's the commissioner, so he has to pretty much have the final say on it. But it ended up not devolving into a dynasty and just becoming a keeper league, and everybody kind of said, three makes the most sense. And so I think to me honestly, I think three makes a lot of sense too, because you can't keep five players. Then what's the point? That's a dynasty pretty much at that point. Um,
Okay.
But three, I think, is it's a good combination, you know. But besides that, it's three players makes it so that it's very fair because you can't go and just pick four guys, five guys, and then what if you have a team like the Shark or you have a team like what Franklin has now? You know, people call me crazy for giving up my better players, but he can't keep all of them. So someone has to go out and I could pick them again next year or whatever it is that happens. And now, obviously, that was before I knew about the two other guys coming, but it is what it is. But I did want to ask you.
Mm.
I did do the KMA. What is it? What is his inspiration to go on and become a champion for 3 straight years? What would it mean to you, Armando, to have first year a championship in the Guru League?
Oh my God, it would mean the world. Only because everybody here is such a good player and everybody talks so much smack that it's really like a badge of honor to win in this type of league. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and to hold that over everybody for the first year, right? Like that first off season. And then how Steven has said it, like if me or Ralph wins, it's just wow, we get to say that we won, we beat everybody the first year that we came in here.
Yep.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot riding on it. And honestly, I know that there was speculation, that KMA was bringing me in, and if that was gonna help him, I want to be KMA just as bad as everybody does here. I don't want him. Like I don't know why people aren't more focused on him.
Bro.
He's about to three-peat on you guys, and you guys are worried about Danny and what Steven's doing. Worry about KMA. He's been under the radar. Nobody's paying attention, and now he got CMC.
Now I
So
got CMC coming back, man.
I-
I
you
don't
know,
know,
I,
bro.
he's the one person I want to beat. I don't want to be part of a league where this guy gets to walk around saying he was a three-time champ. It just ends every conversation.
Well, to be honest, the last 2 years were kind of like weird, like situations. They have
They have
asterisks.
asterisks.
They have asterisks. Like I'm one to say, look, because I'm that type of person that look, if you, no matter how it is that you won, you won. You
Mhm.
know, Franklin, Danny, Fredo, they don't see it that way because if he beat you outside of a Pollo, if you and him went out and fought in outside of a Pollo Tropical for the championship because of whatever issue happened at the like in the league, and he won. Now he's the champion. It doesn't matter how it happens. Like Franklin loves to bring up the what was it? Franklin? No, Steven. Steven loves to bring up the situation where Danny won a championship playing a pickup game of basketball against somebody because of some issue that happened in the league that that at the end of the day they ended up saying, you know what, we're gonna go out there and play basketball. He won. It's
Yeah.
what, like, it doesn't matter if he beat a 10-year-old playing basketball. 10-year-old agreed, and you know what, that he went out and he won. But
I get what you're saying. Yeah, two people agreed to do it, and I've heard the stories of the Damar Hamlin game or whatever the Damar Hamlin rule, and
mhm.
there's not much to say. Like at the end of the day, this is what everybody decided. This is what they put in paper, and that's what got approved.
Yeah,
And then the results are the results.
exactly. His name is on the championship twice, right, run right next to the other.
Unbelievable.
So it is what it is. Alfredo coming up on the chat now saying he got saved by deeds. Well, what do you want him to do, Alfredo? He won. Let's stop in this whole notion of, oh, if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for that. No, bro, he won. That's it. KMA won twice, one after the other. This is the time that we have to stop him from winning the third.
Yeah, because if I have the story correct, uh, Deeds, right?
Hmm.
He should have just been like, no, this is the
Yeah,
game. and he
Exactly.
would have won, right?
And he would have won.
Yeah, there's no way I'm giving that up.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have given it up. Like if it would have been me, I would have at least like if there was gonna be some kind of like,
Blanco paid him. Blanco paid him. He must have paid him because that's just what are we doing?
bro, I don't know, man, but like, listen, if it would have been me, I would have said, look, I would have liked if we are going to have like something to say, oh, we're gonna play something that I have control over, something that I would say, you know what, like poker, for instance, we're gonna play poker until and as like for that, or we're gonna play football, we're gonna play basketball to determine it, but don't determine it on something that you could lose without even like has nothing to do
I
with
got
you.
you. Like at least
Like,
you have some control on those other ones,
yeah, I have control playing basketball, football, poker to some extent.
right? They
Um,
just left it up to the next matchup, no, or something like that.
they left it up something to that. They left it up to some to the next matchup, and it wasn't really a next matchup because there was nothing after that. That's
Yeah,
the thing, but they just said something about points and the next matchup. But like I'm not entire. It's been so long ago that I don't even remember everything. And then the second time, KMA would have been eliminated if it wasn't for Steven and Danny benching their team and then Steven screwing Danny. He would have been eliminated. But because that happened, now KMA went all the way to the finals and he beat Danny. You know, if it was not, it would have been Franklin and Danny would have beat KMA.
wow,
But
unbelievable. Just giving away wins in the playoffs.
in the playoffs, man, in the
You
playoffs,
work all year to get there. Why would you just do that?
ask Danny, bro. He said, "Oh no, because I like my matchup better with versus this guy and this and this." I'm like, bro, if you would have just played your players, you would have been a champion in this league,
I gotta say, Danny's his worst enemy, man. Danny's his own worst enemy.
bro. It's like I can't talk about the fly without getting upset. Like when it comes to those kind of things because it boggles my mind. But hey, Danny screwed Danny.
Yeah, that's got to be a bumper sticker somewhere because that sums it up.
Pretty much, man. But yeah, it's. I know that you want to take this and you want to take it all the way to the championship and win on your very first year in the league. But who is it over anybody in the league that you want to beat at the very top of the mountain?
KMA. I want to beat Jonathan.
Yes.
And we're also in other leagues, so that it kind of there's an ecosystem of fantasy football leagues going around that we compete in. So the more leagues I can beat him in, it's more bragging rights.
Wow, bro.
Um, so and we've talked so much football for so long, and it's funny because I consider Jonathan a pretty smart person, and he sees fantasy football completely different to how I see it. Even something like poker as well. Um, but I've seen him be successful. So it just goes to show that it's not just one way or two or three. You can do it however you want, and you can win. But that's just what's so interesting to me about when I talk football with KMA, that we just see the game completely different. And I go, I'm like, bro, I don't think that that's gonna work, and he ends up winning. Like so.
Yeah,
And
the
apart
guy's a
from that,
genius.
though, apart from that, I think Franklin is starting to get there for me. I think we're starting to make a little bit of a rivalry here. I really can't. And it's nothing against Gokis. I just feel like Gokis is like my brother from another mother. We're both Eagles fans. We both like Stella. He actually saw the show that I put my profile pic, Archer. Um, so we have a lot of comments. So I feel like it's a very like respectful, bow before fight kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Franklin, I bloodshed. I want all his players to get concussed all over the field, so he feels that pain over and over and over again.
Well, listen, I have Franklin. Besides my brother, Franklin is the one that I enjoy beating more than anybody else. I
And it's
it's
beautiful though because I feel like when he wins, like how you were saying, now he wants to fight me, right? But when I beat him week 2, he was all nice and quiet.
Mhm.
And now he's coming out and he's puffing his chest because his team is different. And I get it. I would be pumped too if I had that team. His team does kick butt. You
Yeah,
know, I'm sure that he does look every time that he says, I look at my team and I love it. I honestly 100% believe him that he just did that
yeah. Every time, every single time.
every
Like
time.
he's like, guys, I just looked at my team. Oh man, I love my team. And then he finishes off with a kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, of all the people that I would love to beat, my brother's number one, always, because I've already beat him in the finals and everything. But he's number one, and number two is Franklin. Bro, I made such. Oh my god, I made the video. I wish I would have spent more time, like building that
Preparing.
video, preparing that video, so that when it went out to the league, it would be hot fire, bro. I'm talking about. There's nothing to say. But hey, as his name suggests, no excuses. There were no excuses. He came on the podcast and he said it. You won. You were the better team this time.
No, and that's exactly why you love to compete against Franklin. When he wins, he's all happy and everything. When he loses, I feel like he takes it like a man and he owns it up. That's it. It is what it is, and he moves on to next week.
Yeah, yeah. Unless he loses a bunch of times, then he's like,
Oh, that 0-4 streak was bad for the podcast
yeah,
because I think they
bro.
were both 0-4.
They're both 0-4, man.
Yeah, that was sad days. I remember turning it on. It's just like, wow, this is bad. Like,
This is terrible. Like
can,
this is
can
the
we just
worst.
can we give them a win, please, so that the podcast can go back to its to its previous standard?
Yeah, bro. It was really bad, bro. I didn't expect like you would come onto the podcast like, welcome to the Guru League podcast. Steven, what do you want?
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah, bro. But at the end of the day, now he's better. Steven, once he figured out that his year was over, he was better. Um, it's kind of like me. Once I figured that my year was over, I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't upset. I was just preparing for the future,
Right. It's
which
like the 5 stages of grief, right? The last one is acceptance.
acceptance. I accepted it. I'm garbage. Yo soy a churre. That's why my name is Big Papi Churre, because I beat people that I needed to beat. Steven, I beat him. Danny, I beat him, and Franklin, I beat him. So I beat everybody that goes on the podcast. So at the end of the day, no one could say that the Two versus Brother podcast is below them, because even the churre of the Two versus Brother, which is myself, beat them. So I like them apples.
For sure. Let me ask you something. How do you feel about your brother right now being at the top of the standings and kind of like looking like he's running away with it?
Bro, it pains my heart to know
Because he
that
hasn't won, right?
he's never won. Like the last time that he was close, I shut his dreams. I shut that door like in his face. Eh, because that game, which is me and my brother, and happened. I think it was 2014. He had to buy. I did not have to buy at the time, I believe, and I had to go on and one by one get to the finals, and he was a shoe in to win, but I had OBJ, so I had OBJ. I think I had Des Bryant, Tony Romo. I had a good team, and his team was deemed to be better, but the way that everything went out, it ended up coming down to one game. It was the Cowboys versus somebody, and he had at the time what was the running back from the Cowboys that he went to the Eagles afterwards?
DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray. He had DeMarco Murray, and it was not a DeMarco Murray game.
Oof.
So he lost, and he lost by I think it was like 30 points or something like that. So Alfredo, I know this year you're flying high. You are what your team name in the past implies, the dream team. But the pigeons don't work in the finals. They don't work in the playoffs to begin with. So yeah, DeMarco Murray, he's telling it now. uh, yeah, in the finals, if he were to go to the finals and he were to meet KMA, Franklin, anybody out there, I'm always rooting for whoever it is that's going against him. I cannot have Alfredo. I can't look my mom in the eye and tell her Alfredo won. I can't do it.
You just can't do it, huh?
I can't do it. It's not in me. I'm happy that he has success in all other ventures of life, but not this. Right now, we're become like Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and everything that's going on. He will like I'll be happy for it as long as he doesn't bring that success to fantasy football.
And let me ask you, because I know that he had said, I think that he wants Danny to present him the trophy. What happens if by chance you're in the clown suit? What if he has you on the other side? You on one side in the clown suit and Danny on the other side, handing him the trophy.
Most likely, he would want me to present him the trophy in the clown suit, and Danny to
Please, yes.
and Danny to give the speech before handing him the trophy. Like I physically give it to him, and Danny presents.
I got you.
That's most likely what's going to happen, just because I in his mind what he wants to happen. Because
And then some pigeons fly out of a box, right?
yeah, and some pigeons will fly out of a box and crap on us when
Yeah,
as they're leaving.
exactly.
That's what he wants. But at the end of the day, you know what? To be honest, I think Danny would look better in the clown outfit than me. So, and it's funny because in the podcast that he had with Steven and Franklin asked like, "Hey, have you guys like Steven, have you told your wife that there's a possibility of you becoming a clown? That you're gonna have to leave the house as a clown and make balloon animals at Buffalo Wild Wings?" And and, and he said, "Yes, I have told her that there's a possibility that that may happen." That right and like closer to now, he said it's a good possibility of that happening. But and then they asked Danny, he's like, "No, no, I haven't told my wife anything. I haven't told her anything."
Well, I
Yeah,
better start breaking the news soon
yeah,
that there's
because
a possibility. Not saying that he is, just that there's a possibility.
I'm telling you, and I put it like this: there's a 30% chance that
He's
I'm in
probably
the
gonna be like,
clowns.
"Babe, but didn't you draft Tyreek Hill?"
Like what happened? Like you stopped.
Yeah.
You stopped talking about fantasy football for a while. I thought you left the league or something. Oh, Danny. You're like, bro, there's a 30% chance that I'm the clown.
Mhm.
There's a 30% chance that and there's a 30% chance that Danny's a clown. So that means there's a 10% chance of Coquise being the clown, which I don't think is gonna happen. I think Coquise will not make the playoffs. So he will be the in the clown bowl. And if he is in the clown bowl, he most likely will win it all. He will be the first pick.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got a really good team. He's got a lot of depth too.
So it's very likely, and I'm part of the reason I gave him the trade for Josh Jacobs is because I thought that giving him this trade he would probably make it very close to making the playoffs, or if not make the playoffs. So I don't want to have to deal with him anymore. But
Okay.
but now here I am having to deal with him.
No, but that's a smart strategy. Though. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, no. Why would I give a player to a guy that I'm going to see again? It's especially in the playoffs or in this situation, the Clown Bowl. So
Yeah, because I mean, between you and Steven, it's pretty close.
yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
Yeah, it's not great. And now he lost Dak, which you could make the argument that maybe he's just the same with Cooper Rush, but I mean, let's be honest, Cooper Rush.
Yeah, no, it's
If he
not
was the starter, or if he was good enough, he would be the starter.
correct.
And then I don't know, is Tua gonna come back to his old self? That offense looks kind of, I guess it did better against Buffalo, right? I didn't
Yeah,
get to watch the whole game.
they did much better. It ended up being the defense that didn't like finish the game pretty much.
Okay.
If the defense would have handled business, they would have won the game. But you can't get to almost 30 points by the offense, and then the offense did its job. The defense didn't pull their end of the bargain, at least in my opinion. But it is what it is. I'll pretty much leave the Dolphins because every time I talk about the Dolphins, I get pissed off. Uh, like I don't know how you feel when you talk about your Eagles, but I talk about the Dolphins nowadays, and I'm just upset.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm a big Eagles fan, but I feel like I really don't start. It's not that I don't care about them, but I'm not really focused on them until like the ending, like when it really starts to matter, like the games. Because right now I feel like they're a pretty good team. They're always going to be in contention. So, and just honestly, like seeing them have that Cinderella story with Nick Foles, that whole Super Bowl run and beating Tom Brady. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a better Eagles Super Bowl. Like, and that's what Dolphins fans have been craving. So that's why I feel like a lot of Dolphin fans are still like so like emotionally in it. And I'm kind of like, not that I'm checked out. I still want the Eagles to do well, but seeing that happen, like, and living it and experiencing it was just, it was crazy. Carson Wentz went down. I thought the season was over. Then Nick Foles comes in, and I mean, he just obliterated everybody that he ran into.
Yeah, it's you guys had a Cinderella story there, man, and to beat Tom Brady in the play in
Yeah,
not in the Super Bowl,
beat
that's
the goat.
already you beat the goat, man. So you guys did what you needed to do. You took care of business.
Yeah,
We're still waiting for the Dolphins to take care of business. It's bad, bro. It's bad. It's like
yeah.
and I
Let's get a playoff win.
let's get at least a playoff win, bro. And it's funny because I thought that I took it bad whenever the Dolphins don't do well, but ever since I've been with my girlfriend and I've seen her dad, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy because when the Dolphins lose by a lot, he's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm used to this, and that." But when it's a close game, bro,
Like the last one.
and then it's like the last one. This man, like, he wants to like jump in time to see what happens before it happens. So because he has, he could do it with the little radio. He'll have the little radio in the corner, and he'll have to drink some tea like to calm down. Or if not, he'll go to the garage, and in the garage there's like a TV that has an antenna, and obviously the antenna signal comes before. So he'll see plays like 40 seconds to a minute before it actually happens. So he'll go over there and he'll see it, and then he'll come out, "Oh, what the hell?" Da, da, da. And I'm like, "What happened?" You'll see now. You'll see now. And then you see Tua throw the pick, and, and
Oh
you're
man.
and you're like, "Oh man, there goes the game." But yeah, man, we're still waiting for our Cinderella moment. Hopefully it happens in my lifetime, or at least in my son's lifetime. It's getting bad, bro. It's getting bad.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Yeah, man. But you know what? I'm not even gonna like. I can't get even mad anymore. We should be used to this. But yeah, man. We've been on this podcast for about 44 minutes now. Any closing comments you want to give to anybody in the league before we get out?
I love you guys. I love this league. Everybody here is freaking awesome. And Kokis, I hope to beat you. I hope to eliminate you once and for all. I like the little GIF that Franklin sends of the of the frog like this, like it's already dead. That's gonna be me. Okay, Monday. Yeah, and just good luck to everybody, and let's go. We're almost there, almost to the dance.
Almost to the dance. Hopefully, my dance will not be with a clown suit. So it's that's
It's looking pretty slim.
it's looking very bad
Yeah,
nowadays.
you're one of the betting favorites for that suit.
Yeah, bro. I'm saying 30, 30, 30, 10. I lost, and as long as I'm one of the not in this by myself, I'm okay. And as Franklin was saying, like, you'll forget about it after the season's over, and then all of a sudden, once we get closer and closer and closer to the draft, the realization sets in that you will have to leave your house in the makeup, in the suit. Are we gonna put some kind of wig? Are we gonna dye our hair? Steven says he's gonna go all out. You know what? If I gotta do it, I'll go all out too. Green hair and all. But we are
No,
ending
no,
this.
no, 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 no green hair. You need like cotton candy hair. You need to look bad, not good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see because I think the only thing that's pretty much in that we're not sure what we're gonna do or not is paint the nose red, or are we gonna have actual
Oh, I
clown
got you.
nose.
Yeah.
So and from my understanding, it's a is green hair was the is the actual like what
Now
is
you guys need to
wanted.
wear, or somebody, the person needs to wear like clown shoes, big, goofy clown shoes that you can't even walk right.
Well, hey, listen,
Hello? Did I lose you?
I looked at
Uh,
some, and I know that nowadays there is a actual issue with the like, not an issue. I'm saying like since it's after Halloween, everything's cheaper, and I'm
mhm.
thinking, should I just bite the bullet and buy it now? But I don't want to invest into something that like that to is basically saying in my mind it's gonna happen. So I don't want that.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
gonna
re-
be pricey anyway because you got to get the makeup. You got to get the balloon or the animal, the balloons, right, for that balloon animals.
yeah,
Maybe a couple of juggling balls. Yeah, a couple of handkerchiefs, something. Yeah.
yeah,
We
some
want to
kind of
be
tricks.
entertained the whole draft.
Oh boy.
There should be
Well,
a little break after every round.
a 5 minute break for balloon animals.
Yes.
Well, I guess Danny's gonna have to go onto YouTube and figure out how to start making balloon animals. Like, and with all the beer bets that he owes, he's gonna be the
He's
clown
gonna be
and
one
broke.
sad clown.
He's one sad broke clown.
Yeah, taking out his pockets, all sad.
Long pockets.
Yeah.
Well, enough bagging on Danny. No, we'll see him in the clown suit eventually. But on to the end, and I do hope that you pull out the win. Obviously, I would like for Coquise to go all the way, so I don't have to see him at all in the Clown Bowl. But it doesn't. It looks to be more of you winning at this point than him winning.
Yeah, and if not, I mean, he's got your brother after, which good luck.
Good luck, bro. The Pigeons will take two of his players out. It's it's looking bad.
Yeah, and he's already dealt with injuries, so And Franklin, don't go losing any players this week, okay? Be ready for next week.
Oh boy, the Nika Bowl.
The Nika Bowl, part two.
Part two. All right, guys. Let's end this podcast and we'll convene at a later time.
All right, man. Thank you for having me on. Later.
Later. Awesome, bro. Awesome.